The topic that I'm going to address in my project is fair trade versus free trade. Fair trade principles have deep roots in European societies long before the first structured alternative trading organization emerged following World War II. Many of the fundamental concepts behind fair trade actually show a great resemblance with pre-capitalist ideas about the organization of the economy and society. The basic notion of the old moral economy is a fitting example of such conceptions. E.P. Thompson, in his work on 18th century England, described a society where notions of common well-being, often supported by paternalistic traditional authorities, imposed some limits on the free operations of the market. Free trade, on the other hand, is a notion of system encompassing multiple sovereign states originating in a rudimentary form in 16th century imperial Spain. American jurist Arthur Nussbaum noted that Spanish theologian Francisco de Vitoria was the first to set forth the notions, though not the terms, of freedom and of commerce and freedom of the seas. Economists who advocated free trade believed trade was the reason why certain civilizations prospered economically. Adam Smith, for example, pointed to increased trading as being the reason for the flourishing of not just Mediterranean cultures such as Egypt, Greece, and Rome, but also of Bengal, East India, and China. Many people tend to confuse the terms free trade and fair trade. Free trade, which has played a major role in countries' trade policies in the past few decades, and fair trade, a social movement whose stated goal is to help producers in developing countries achieve better trading conditions and to promote sustainability, are actually quite different. Both have very different goals, benefits, financing, and more, so even though these are often mixed up, they are not alike. The main goal of free trade is very simple. The main objective is to increase a nation's economic growth. According to Forbes, free trade is supposed to reduce barriers such as tariffs, value-added taxes, subsidies, and other barriers between nations. The main strategy of free trade is that profit is the absolute overriding concern, and those who benefit from this are multinational corporations and powerful business interests. Many critics say that free trade actually punishes marginalized people, the environment, and on top of that, sacrifices long-term relationships. Fair trade is slightly different than free trade. The purpose of fair trade is to empower marginalized people and to improve the quality of their lives by attempting to balance concerns for people, the planet, and also profit. The primary benefit of fair trade is that there's the ability to have vulnerable farmers, artisans, and workers in less industrialized countries that would not otherwise be possible. The Independent states that fair trade is trade, of that there is no doubt. Some 1.3 billion is spent on fair trade badged goods in the UK. The real difference between fair and free trade is that free trade focuses more on the total profit of the nation itself and is selfish. Fair trade offers an actually fair way to empower marginalized people and improve the quality of their lives, rather than only the nation. The people in the nation are benefiting and grossing wealth, and in turn, the nation profits by having financially well-balanced citizens. With free trade, profit is the overriding concern. With fair trade, there is the attempt to balance concerns for the people, the planet, and profit. To me, fair trade is the better option.